Good run for Tommy set the ground and 80.
Welcome to Beer Money Pulling Team. Sit down.
Welcome to Beer Money Pulling
Team.
Hang on.
Sit down.
Shut up. Hang on.
Welcome to Let's Throw Pulling, everybody. Monday night, the Monday after the Pullers Championship. Charles looks awake. Bruce looks awake. So life is good. Life is good. How are you guys doing? So-so? So-so? So.
Tired, but that's coming off a weekend like that. It's bound to happen.
Yeah. Bruce, can you hear us okay, bud?
Yep, I can hear you.
Cool. So I'm going to kind of recap from just what's in my brain, and then I want you guys to interrupt me and stop me. Just raise your hand, and I'll see it, and I'll stop talking. And then you say something, Charles, or Bruce, you say something. But on behalf of all of us that put on the Pullers Championships, first of all, thank you to Brad Holzauer. Without him, none of this is possible. Brad owns Holzauer Motorsports, and has like 5 different stores: a Harley store, some UTV stores. Also owns 618 Motorsports as well. And we went to this idea with him a couple years ago, and he's had our back. And has already said that. He said today, he told Charles Saturday night, I'm buying more bleachers. I talked to him this morning, and he's either going to buy more or rent more for next year, just based upon how things. Bruce is setting the mood with the fire, Charles.
Right.
Yes, sir. I just figured out figured out I could do with it. I could do that. So
it's some ambience, Charles.
I was going to say that's the exact word I was thinking of.
Thank you to our sponsors. I especially want to mention, besides Holzauer, the Lutz Agency. They did the $500 bonus for each class. So if you heard Leroy and Charles announce on Friday night on the live stream, or whether you were there in person, Lutz Agency gave $500 winner bonuses to everybody who won on Friday night. And then those are the checks that we presented to those pullers underneath the announcer's tower. So thank you to them. Also, thank you to Prescription Tillage Technology. It was funny talking to the pullers. Like, what's that? Is it prescription or pilling? It was so funny talking to all the pullers because they wanted to say the right thing. And I said, just look at your trophy, guys. And then I said, I'll help you with that. So they're our title sponsor. And then also Chaos Fabrication for sponsoring the Pro Stock class. If you're a builder or a sponsor of truck and tractor pulling, this event gives every dollar back to the pullers. So as you can, if you start to budget for 2024, set a couple bucks aside for us, for the Pullers Champ. It's not for us, it's for the pullers. If pullers are a big part of your life, or you're farming, or your company, or you're a big, your sassy racing engines or whatever, I'm not calling them out, but that's the first thing SRE came to the pop of my head, thinking of Steve Bunnage and his 4 brand new motors. Class sponsors this year were $5,000. I'm assuming we'll keep them there. We haven't had that meeting yet or not. Title sponsor, we're looking for like a $25,000 sponsor to title sponsor this event, or like a presenting sponsor, $1,000 sponsors. There's different things like that. So we know a lot of you set your budgets up ahead of time, and we did not get ahead of it this year like we said we were going to. And, many of you said to us, hey, hit us up next year. Well, we're knocking right now for 2024. Hello, we want you to sponsor the Pullers Championship. So that's my, I'll get off my soapbox on that. To the fans, thank you. This is our biggest TPC yet. Friday night was supposed to get rained out. If you watch the radar, I had tech officials coming up to me saying, Jason, you're not going to have a pull tonight. And I said, don't give up yet. And Clint Tucker had the track covered and everything like that. But if you were watching the radar, 20 miles north of Nashville, Illinois, it freaking poured. Like water in the fields. If you don't believe me, go look at Steve Bunnage's Facebook page. There's water in their fields from Friday night. All of our phones were blowing up. I was asking the crowd. Charles was asking the crowd, if you're here, post on Facebook, Snapchat, whatever, that the sun is out in Nashville, Illinois, and it was. We did get some sprinkles throughout the evening. A couple times I thought it was going to be too much, but we never, ever stopped the action. We didn't have to. It was just kind of a steady sprinkle, and the crowd stayed there with us.
Dust control.
Yep. And with that crowd that we saw Friday night with that, we knew in our hearts that we were going to have a packed house Saturday night, and it was. It was very, very packed Saturday night. In comparison, if you came to the Pullers Championship year number 1, the Saturday night crowd in year number 1 was similar to the Friday night crowd on year number 2. And all of us that promote pulling or involved in pulling, if you go to a 2-day event, that Friday night crowd's always a little bit tougher because people get off of work and stuff like that. And Saturday, we had a ton of media people there, letting them know that this stuff was going on. And if you're a 2-day event and you're not pounding the piss out of your event on Friday night on social media and letting your fans know that you're going to be back here the same time tomorrow night, you're crazy not to do that, because you can truly build a Saturday night event if you have a good Friday night event as well. So thank you to everybody who bought the live stream. We're thinking 700-800 people were on the live stream, purchased live streams. But you know, I got text messages from people that had 20 people in their shop or at their campground, and I know Nora's Tavern in Wisconsin was watching it, just like they do Louisville.
Cheers, Nora's.
Cheers to Nora's. Yeah. So Short Fighty, I got to say this. I got to stop my rant for a second. Short Fighty said to me Friday, guys, there was dew that morning. I knew we were good because he said, Schultz, we're having the pull. It's not going to rain out. We had dew this morning. And I always think that whatever, red skies, sailor's delight, or whatever that saying is, something like that. So Clint Tucker, you built a hell of a pulling track, sir. Thank you very much. We've watched you do it at Shipshewana a bajillion times, at Gordyville. Friday night, the track was dry, and I'll tell you why it was dry. They opened it up Thursday. It was very, very wet. With the impending forecast, he built it and threw tarps on it. And then, as you all know, if you've built a track before, the tarp really dries it out. And we peeled the tarp off 1 hour before showtime. We then, we had mini rods early, and we had light supers early. Probably some of the most insane.
We both tried to do it at the same time.
Charles and I are both trying to let Cody on at the same time. But when you have that much tire speed and that little bit of weight, they were just sitting on top and spinning. So some moisture was added to the track on Saturday night. And then Tyler Slaw went for, I'm not going to say the ride of his life, because he's
going all the way over before.
Yeah. There's a whole highlight reel of just Tyler Slaw rides. So, but thank you to Clint Tucker and his team. That show was moving, and they did an awesome job with that track. Thank you to the Pro Pulling League. We hired them this year to be the competition director. Again, this was a non-sanctioned event. It will continue to be a non-sanctioned event, but they made our lives a million times easier by scale, teching, and flagging. Allowed Cody and Ryan to just take pictures. It allowed Charles to just announce. It allowed Paul to worry about pro stocks. It allowed Brent to worry about crowd control, and everybody that's involved with this event. I remember last year feeling so bad because I was 4-1s were first. I was pulling last year and watching, Romac and Yarn just run around with their heads cut off back there in the starting line area because we didn't have the lineup organized. And this year, it really took a big weight off. So thank you to John and Christy and all the tech officials that were there to do that. And obviously Amy Jo was upstairs with Charles and Leroy all night in announcer stand, and she's been doing this for a long time. Shout out to all the media guys, especially Adam Wilson, built Diesel Mafia. He's a sponsor. JP Pulling Productions for fantastic photos that we got up right away that night during the show, highlighting our winners. He was sending those to Yarin. I was sending the picture underneath with the puller with the $5,000 check to make that happen. And then thank you to everybody who shared our stuff everywhere. It is so fun to scroll your social media feed and just see it full of the Pullers Championship, for Bradley Sturgeon to, little YouTubers to big YouTubers. I mean, we had the king of YouTube there, Adam Wilson. And, and we had a lot of new guys there, Jonah Hill. And I can't name everybody. Clayton was there from Foggy Bottom. Obviously, Vanderhome Media, Big Rye. Allie Post was taking pictures. I mean, it's awesome to see that. And when I've been seeing it, I've been sharing it to the TPC page, as all of us has. But it was a great, great event. So just thank you so much to everybody. Just fun seeing that place full of happy pulling fans Saturday night. So, Charles, that's my opening line. We are going to get into, we're going to share a screen tonight after we all talk for a little bit and share all the final results. This was a point system, like Bowling Green, low score wins. So if you got first on Friday, like Brandon Simon, and then fourth or third on Saturday night, then you had 4 total points, right? And then if we had some ties, which we had multiple ties, then we went to total distance. And it's fun to see that. And you'll see in that Super Farm class how tight it was between first place and like 6th place. It was like 6 or 7 feet for the 2 nights. But, Jeremy Roberts came out on top both nights with Wicked Whitetail. Don't ask us what classes we're having next year. None of that yet.
Way too early to know that right now. Please
put some sponsorship money away for this event for next year. Whether it's $1,000, whether it's $5,000, whatever you want to do, and reach out to one of us now. Whoever you're most comfortable talking to, Brent, Paul, Doug Bork, Charles, Roos, Cody, Leroy, whoever. Reach out to us now. Write it down so we can follow up on it and talk about all of that. So,
if you want the light limited supers, start stocking away your money right now.
Yeah, you don't have enough money. Just heads up.
Oh, shut up. They may get their day in the sun. Maybe they campaign hard.
Well, you know what? I'm not going to say no. How about that? So I'm not going to say no.
So you're saying there's a chance.
That is a team decision. So that is.
I know. I know
you
it is.
You like to stir the pot.
I'm just trying to get on pull off me and my fire pit.
All you got to do is say woo or not be professional. Then you like me, and then you can make pulloff.com, guys. I can teach a class on how to be on pulloff.com. So it's I'm the expert at that. So
I guess that would mean that we never mind. I had a class fillers joke.
Oh yeah, what a bunch of shit. I hope people do understand that. Why didn't you see Ken Venue there? He was invited, guys. He was invited, but he said no. Why aren't the Mastersons there? They were automatically invited. They said no because of Farman. Why wasn't Blaine Stam? I'm going through the comments in my head.
Yeah.
It's not all fan voted, guys. It's not all fan voted. We start Yarn sent out the invites. When, guys? August, November, right? Or October, November last year?
I think it was like October, and they basically have like 8 weeks to accept or decline.
So we went out, and it's like top 3 of this association, this class, but it's focused on PPO, Outlaws, and NTPA, and the major state level organizations. Automatic invites go out to the top finishers or the points champ. They have until the end of the year to claim that spot. Pay $500, lock it in. The rest of it's fan voted. Okay, we have to do that for you, the fan. You want to know who you're gonna see. You don't want to just because if we don't take that $500. And $500 isn't a lot to probably somebody who owns a $400,000, $500,000 pro stock, but we need to know that's kind of our insurance policy that I'm going to do my best to show up. And then the last 2 weeks we scrambled to fill a couple spots, dyno breakage, people, not enough parts coming in and stuff like that. But we filled it the best we could.
I've had competitors ask me, about the $500 and entry fee, and I always correct them. I say it's not an entry fee, it's your performance bond that you'll show up, because if you show up, we're giving it back to you.
10th place, and we don't have the payout completely figured out yet. Brad and his team just got the money counted today. Got some preliminary numbers this afternoon from Brad. He called, and we know kind of what the live stream did, but we're paying all of it back. So every dollar amount, like I thought the remedy would be there. I registered it last, I got the auto invite because of Brad for the 4-1 class. I paid my $500. I donated that to the purse. It gets all chucked in there. Esden Lane, he paid $500. He doesn't get that back. So those are just the rules. Yep. So, I like how it's set up. I think we have an awesome thing. We're good. I'm just reading. I don't know. If you guys are keeping up with the comments, all Charles or Cody or Roos, if you guys want to pop any of those on the screen, just let me know. So just seeing that crowd Saturday night, guys, that made my whole year. I'm not going to lie to you. That as a promoter, that just seeing that place full and then talking to everybody afterwards.
I thought he did.
Yeah, he did. You're right. Light super and heavy super. Esden, thank you for the donation. The pullers, it's going to the pullers. So. Schulte's, Binder Express, Ryan Anderson broke. Did he break on the dyno or did something not come in, Roos?
Parts
didn't come in.
Okay. Punky, Screaming Norwegian was the next one up on the fan vote. They were waiting on parts, and Schulte stepped up. They were the next one on the fan vote. Schulte's wouldn't have made it. The next one up was Capazzo's Cruel Intentions. That's how close it could have been, for them to be there. And then I got a hold of Dan on Tuesday. I said, I have to know by the end of the day. We're moving on the next one. And he called his turbo. I think he runs an Apex. I'm not sure. He's a Salabine, but I'm sure he does.
I don't know if we're supposed to say that.
Whatever. It's Let's Grow Pulling, but he had to call his turbo guy, and he said it'd be in Wednesday. And Dan and Debbie and Morgan and Wyatt showed up Friday. We did let the NTPA Super Farms ran farm show rules. So the non-intercooler tractors weighed 9,500 pounds. The intercooler tractors weighed 9,300 pounds. And if you look at the results, they were stacked in there nice, guys, for the Super Farm class. Yep. They put on a great show. There is a survey out. Yaron posted the survey. I don't know. Did he put it on Pull Off? I know he put it on Facebook, guys.
I don't think it's on Pull Off, but I did see it on Facebook and I have shared it. Yeah.
I need everybody sharing that. Cody, Roos, everybody that's on our show, as well as everybody watching the show. As a spectator, we want to know what you thought. We want constructive criticism. We truly do. We need to know
the fans maybe don't notice it, but the competitors do. We had a suggestion given to us Saturday afternoon by Don Slama, and we made a change because of it.
Yep.
Yeah, we listen.
And that's why I respect people that give me a chance to make a change. Jeff Hurt got a hold of me right away Saturday morning. Says, I need more water in that track because it was too dry last night and we ruined tires. And we put more water in that track, and Tyler Slaw went, woo! And Donnie Sullivan went, woo!
And so did Bruce with his test pass. He had to get out of it.
So it was two different tracks from night to night. And honestly, that's what Slama even told me. And he told all of us. He talked to us all separately. I know he did. He said he did. But, switching tracks back and forth and making it different from night to night. It's a true championship level pull. You don't want to pull on the same track. Kind of know how you had your tractor set up. Guessing around and stuff like that is and giving it a good shot there. So and that guy right there loves pulling as much as we do, and he thinks about it as much as we do. And Jeremy, and I can never say his last name right. I give up. I can't even say Charles' last name right ever, but he's one of my good friends, so I still feel bad.
After 45 years, I've given up correcting people anymore. I don't care.
Yeah.
Amen. Preach.
Well, Roos. He spelled it for me once with the hyphen, Roos Inc. So that's Posh. You need to do that for me if you could do that pronounced possible. So I could figure that out. So no, just excited. Waking up today, just felt good. There was always that anxiety of having the event and the weather. Our promoter Brad Holzhauer is beyond happy. A lot of us talked to the people from the Lutz agency. They're already excited for next year. And then Brad's having a PPL pull in 2 weeks, right back at the facility. Less than 2 weeks, June 2nd and June 3rd for all of you in that area. He's bringing back Pro Pulling League. I think he's running a local Illinois Hot Farm class with some Western Series stuff. But please go support that pull again.
I think 4-1's come back.
And
minis are back.
Minis and big pros.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to start talking about highlights a little bit, like Charles, Roos, Cody, what you saw this weekend. Some of the storylines. I want to start out with mine. We had pullers from California to New York, and somebody from Canada. Evil Diesel was there. So, we can truly say we had that all covered. Fagundes was there. That was awesome. He had both of his mini rods there. Donnie drove one, obviously, and then Robbie drove the other one. And to see Mary, is it Keel or is it Kale, guys?
Keel.
I've always said Kale, but
okay.
I thought it was. I thought
go ahead,
they
Roos.
announced themselves as Kale. So
okay. But after watching that, I watched the live stream, Will Witt's live stream down there in Ocala. Watched them flip that thing over. Charles, can you tell the people what happened down there in Ocala? What broke?
The hitch itself was at the start of the problems, and it got away from the sled, of course. Killswitch did its job, but there was still momentum there. So she did kind of a wheelie away, and then when the nose crashed down, it flipped over forward on the cage, and then barrel rolled half a roll and ended up on its tires. But in the course of doing all that, it broke the frame. They pretty much had to junk most of the tractor, and so what they were pulling this weekend was fired up for the first time 6 days before Friday, or maybe even 5 days, with a brand new engine, brand new fuel supercharger, and a brand new modern machine chassis that they had just picked up, the week before the event. So
It would have been nice to pull the pro stocks in the grand side and whatnot. Yeah, Kevin. So here's why. So Brandon Bungart was the only sled operator there that night that could handle the pros, the mods, and the minis. So we kept him on that same track for that particular reason, because we wanted Brandon Bungart is able to handle those big ones. So that's exactly what I was told. So that's why you didn't see the pros flip tracks, to keep everything moving the best we could there. So Trek really came to life when the sun started to set. Yeah, that mod class Saturday night was the shit, guys.
Yeah.
It was awesome. It took every ounce. Like I said to Brent, Yarn was down at the end doing crowd control down there at the end, and I said to him, when Simon got beat with the pro stock, I said, I feel sorry for the throttle on the mod because he's going to bend it.
When you see both Dylan Owens and Jamie Austin completely bury their wheelie bars in the track because they hooked so hard, it's a good track.
That's awesome.
I was impressed with the level of competition this year. Everybody stepped up their
was
game. It was every class was an absolute war if you were going to try and win it, and it was fun to mix up guys from different parts of the country that don't pull against each other or compete against one another on a regular basis and see where everybody comes out at. It was fun. For that reason. And I was really impressed with the smoothness, having PPL there to help and us having an extra year of experience now with it and just kind of understanding the logistics and the layout of the place and the feel for what's working and what's not. Happy with that. I was happy with that.
Yeah. The amount of effort that Brent Yarn put into the running everybody down and stuff like that. It was nice that he could actually get to the event and not have to kill himself. Made me feel a lot better this year. For sure, 100%. Paul too, building that pro stock for Holz hours and then also helping with the 4-1s. I mean, talk about a crazy.
We've talked in years past about the idea of like trying to add a Saturday afternoon session and maybe some different classes, and we discovered a problem this year. We don't have the space. There's nowhere to put them. We can't get more haulers in there. Yeah, guys. Honestly. You're going to have, you'd have a hell of a time talking me in, and I'm just one vote, but you'd have a hell of a time talking me into that Saturday afternoon session. I'd rather do a band Saturday afternoon and, maybe bump up the kids stuff some more. The kids at play area did well. I know the pedal pull had a lot more kids this year, Charles, and guys than they did last year. So, and it was Benny McKinnon's granddaughter who won her weight class anyway. So there's another generation going there.
That's cool.
I talked to a friend of mine who goes and camps at a lot of pulls, and he was there, camping with his family. And he said, you know what, of all the places they go and do this, both that and auto racing, drag strips and whatnot. So this is the coolest one because it's the only place where you can go and you're camping. And the second you open your door and walk out, you're right in the pit area. I mean, it's there.
Yep.
That had to be awesome.
Yeah.
Brad Holzhauer said the minis have been the biggest compliment to him today as a promoter when he's talking to the employees at work and local people. Obviously, Tyler Slaw doing the whoop-de-doo was the most talked about. Unfortunately, Carnage is what there is not every wild ride video. Every good YouTuber has a big wild ride video, and stuff like that's in there. Unfortunately, but. So I posted that picture on TPC's Facebook page yesterday. Tyler texted me that they had that tractor, the motor out and on the chassis table by 3 p.m. yesterday, Eastern Standard Time. Yep. So they can come back and support Holzhauer's event June 2nd and June 3rd. So that was pretty cool, guys. So
cool. By the time I was texting Tyler a little bit here and there too, and we had a late dinner with some friends last night. And by the time we were done with dinner by about 8:00. He sent me pictures. It says, we got that thing straight within 20 thousandths. So they're coming back.
I can say that I do not have any funny party drinking photos because when it's time for that, the cameras get put away because I don't want to have evidence.
As they
but also with my particular circumstances this year, there was no late partying for me either night. I had to go to bed. I couldn't keep functioning to do that.
Yep.
Brandon Simon says, ask Paul. Ask Paul what? About funny drinking videos? Pictures?
Oh,
I'm not sure what Brandon has there.
Oh, I know what Now I know what Brandon's talking about.
Can you say it online or no?
No, I'm not going to.
Okay. Yes. Okay. That's all we need, Brandon. We're good. We're good. I've been sober for 9 days now. The last time I drank was Glencoe, Kentucky. So I'm going to keep it like that for a while. So Chase Richardson can do a test that. Yeah, my wife just me in the other room. So it's all good. Everybody's like, why aren't you drinking, Schultz? I'm like, yeah, I'm good for a while. So, yeah.
Jeez, what did they feed you in Glencoe, Kentucky?
A bottle of Crown Royal. All by myself.
Yeah,
by myself. So,
that'll do
yep,
it.
I'm a moron. Oh, yeah, the farm truck guy. I don't know his real name. I just know him as Farm Truck. But he was there Friday night, and I didn't freaking see him, Charles. If I would have saw him, he would have been at an announcer stand with you.
I didn't know he was there until Ryan had texted me. Of course, being upstairs, you don't always necessarily catch everything like that as far as that goes. He's always at Wagler's track whenever I'm down there doing stuff. So I've talked to him before. He's a really cool guy.
Yep. I spent some time talking to him that night too, and he was impressed with the show. He said, "This is amazing." He said, I asked him, I said, "How the hell did you get here?" He said, "Well, Jeremy builds my motors." And I said, "Yeah." And he said, Jeremy was coming down here. He says, you want to go tractor pulling? And he's like, "Well, hell yeah." And so we did. And he came out and hung out with the fans. And, he's done the things. He had a blast. He thought diesel supers were the nuttiest things ever. And he was super impressed with Boots' pass on Friday night, even though Boots wasn't impressed with Boots' pass. But no, it was good to run Todd down. Farm Truck's first name is Todd.
Okay.
And it was good to run him down. And I talked to him a few times before and at an event where Charles was as well. And actually did my introduction to drag racing because I rode shotgun with Adam Wilson's wife in a drag race.
That's right.
And
that's right. That was a couple years ago.
And Farm Truck's daughter treated us twice. And it was fun. We had a blast. And Farm Truck remembered too, which was neat.
That is neat. There's a ton of video, guys, on YouTube, Facebook. Just go search for the Pullers Championship. I mean, there's awesome video from all the classes there. I love this comment. I don't know who Aaron Kern is, but this is neat. The highlight for me was to chat up with Shannon Leishner, Jeff Hurd, and Bruce Law up in the stands. What a great group of guys and very gracious for us to come and watch them compete. I mean, where else do you get to sit and talk with, legendary pullers like that? I don't know if Shannon Leishner is legendary, but Jeff Hurt and Bruce Law are. I hope Shannon's watching this and just gave me the middle finger. Mr. I'm going to bring my mod and I'm going to pull there. And then he didn't show up. That's calling you out, Leishner, next year. Come on, buddy. Get there. But Bill did say they're going to have a mod ready for next year. He told one of you guys that. I know. I heard that through the grapevine.
Well, when he came to sign in the mini on Friday afternoon, we asked him if he felt like going back home and coming back with another truckload of tractors.
Yep. So, the highlight for me, one of my stories, having Brandon Simon come in late, and that's a huge name in pulling, one of the biggest names in pulling, if not the biggest. And having him there was huge for the Pro Stock class, the defending champ, and then have him come out and whoop ass Friday night and talking shit during his winner's speech on Friday night. And then he come out of the hole Friday night and got to the right. I was standing next to you, Charles. You had to pound on that line. We saw that front end bob, and that hurt his distance. Yep. And Parrish slid the sled over and freaking rolled one out there. But that's pulling, and Brandon knows that just like everybody else. It was a hoot. But but Brandon got in because of Peter Norton dropped out. We lost a big name, and we got Brandon was able to bring the mod. Because we lost, who did we lose on the mods? We lost Brett Berg and Ricky Rose right before the event, guys. They were planning on being there. Their forecast showed rain in Minnesota, and they were going to farm until the absolute last second. Everything was loaded, and then they were on their way. And Ricky Rose was really, really, really disappointed, and so was Brett Berg. Talked to both of them, and they were just completely bummed that they weren't able to be there. So, and Ference Bank even brought his truck and trailer with no truck in it. That's how dedicated that guy is. And he was out there even reading the track. Charles and I were making fun of him, like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, he was out there poking around for gas lines and.
So, Ben Haney says, highlight of my weekend. Yes, tell us your highlights, guys. Tell us what you loved about the Pullers Championship. Highlight of my weekend, TPC 20, the Stout Super Farm class, both sessions. I agree 1,000,000%. Talking to Playing with Fire semi-pulling and boneyard pulling team by Ambush, seeing some IH Red in the championship circle, the 618 Pro Stock reveal, and hanging out with the clan I was there camping with. Shouting out to Shore Fighty and Travis Schlaba on their weekend sweeps. Yeah, no, that's cool. Thanks, Ben. And Ben's a big supporter of this event from a social media standpoint. He shares everything about this event. So I feel like we got the locals this year, guys, and I talked to Charles, Cody, Ryan. I talked to fans from freaking all over the country. I don't know. I mean, people drove 9, 10, 12 hours to this event. And people said they already have their hotel rooms booked for next year. So I don't know what you guys saw. So
it's hard, at least during the event anyway. I don't get to interact really with anybody doing what I'm doing, but yeah, walking around the pits and during the day, and yeah, there was people from everywhere. It felt like, you get in a conversation with somebody and, where are you from? And, I'm from Pennsylvania, or I drove here from Nebraska to be here, and just story after story, just like that.
Yeah. Jeff Hurt, You're the man. You won 10 grand at Mac Trailer Winter Nationals. You won 5 grand at the Tollers Championship. But my favorite thing about Jeff Hurt is Saturday morning, he had some feedback for me early, right away. And he's like, Jeff, I don't want to sound like I'm bitching. I'm just like, you're not. Just tell me what's up. We'll talk to the team and we'll make it. And they wanted some water on that track for the minis. And we did it. And, but what I love about Jeff
with the exact same conversation with him that morning.
Yep. The Pullers, you're not bitching. Don't be an armchair quarterback. Don't wait until frickin' Wednesday after the event to say that the sound sucked on the live stream. I didn't know the sound. I have not watched the live stream yet. If the sound went in and out a little bit, we're going to fix it. I'm sorry that I talked on top of some of the Pullers. Charles, I had a hard time hearing you guys underneath. I was watching the screen to try to see when I should yak. I'm not sorry for saying woo. I'm not sorry for having fun. I'm not sorry for Pullers being my friends.
Talking over each other is part of it. I'm standing 3 feet away from Leroy, and we still do it to each other sometimes. It's the nature of it.
Shannon Pointers. This is cool. Tyler Slaw actually gave him the hat off Tyler's head to Shannon. He showed it to me. Shannon was just ended up camping next to us, next to our motorhome, and he had Tyler's hat. I mean, how cool is that? Tyler, I love you and your dad. You guys are so good for pulling. Just the fun, the I want to win, the do whatever. Even Jeff Hurt commented on one of the posts, like they're just the best. They're the best for doing that out there. So. He was poking around for Crowder. Yeah, after he wins, he's saying he picked the line.
Yeah,
like that, Charles? We're just picking on you, Ference. You know that. Who had the best food in the pits after the poll, guys? Anybody got any comments on that?
I don't know, because especially Friday night. I mean, as soon as we were done, I pretty much headed for the hotel room.
Same.
I don't know.
Tolkies.
Okay.
Yeah, probably.
Tolkies.
Andy, kudos to you putting yourselves out there, winning ideas to improve the event. Yep. That's just wants to get better. I know Brent put the surveys out, and we took a lot from the surveys last year. That even came into picking classes for this year. So I don't know. Yar must have got called into work because he was going to be on the night. And I know what Paul's doing. We all know what Paul's doing.
Mm-hmm.
He's getting the pro stock ready for 2 weeks. The sound. I wish some of my friends like Kevin Moore and Chuck Hobbs. I wish I could have got a text message from you Peckerheads Saturday morning.
I will say it, like the audio mixing issue we didn't necessarily know about, but the cutting in and out Friday night we did know. Ryan Zolik did know. He was upstairs running that right next to us as announcers. The intermittent piece of it was not on our end. It's something downstream because we have a laptop up there that we can pop open and then basically watch what you're watching and spot check it. And we never got that to do it. So I apologize that it was an issue, but it wasn't really something we could control.
Let's see here. But live streaming is going to be a big part of our future, guys. And we're taking equipment into some of these places. Now, the Track and Holes Hour is very up to date. But a lot of these places we go into, they're old fairgrounds built in the 50s that you have to It's not always that easy, but we're going to try to make it better. I promise you that. So Rusty Ray watched the live stream. That's awesome. The 4-1 champ swept, says, I talked to fans from Kansas, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Tennessee, and Mississippi. Holy cow, Mississippi. I didn't talk to anybody from Mississippi. Thanks to all the fans for supporting this event. No, it makes it off. It was so cool to see the smile on Holzhauer's face as he was cruising around on his moped, seeing that place full of people. Happy birthday to Kevin Moore. He's got the little red hooker ready, and he's taking it to Wisconsin this weekend. Is it the Kevin Rudd Memorial Shootout, I think, Sunday? Somebody can comment about that. Dylan Oliver, I had a blast this weekend. Nothing like getting some womp up close and getting them fire-breathing big pro stock. They do. They shoot fire out those trash can stacks. Man, it's awesome. Keith Witt had the best food. Okay, we'll remember that. He does have the best ice cream sandwiches. I can vouch for that. Tillman Temple says Tolkien. Tolkien's coming in strong with the food, guys. Tolkien ribeye, pork steaks, and burgers.
He was good.
Dusty Berry, thanks for having us. Cole Roller, 4-1 Limited Pro. For those of you who don't know, I'm from Oklahoma. Had a great time seeing your group of pullers. Sorry we had to cut out early and head to the shop. Yeah, I don't know. Did you get a piston, or was it worse than a piston Friday night, Dusty?
He sent me a borescope picture. A piston got pretty well junked.
Yeah.
Well, Doug Meisinger's watching. So do we start beating the drum for the rematch next year? Because
well, he already did.
Okay,
he's already started.
He already did.
He's already started.
Great.
We had awesome steaks. Thanks, Doug.
Oh shit.
I'll bring my own next year. You want to cook it?
I think the food vendors did well this year, guys. I didn't hear any complaints about any of that at all, so that's good. So
I
saw an awful lot of lemonade, that's for sure.
I was gonna say I heard a lot about the pork nachos were good.
So shout out to
that too.
Kerry Lowry.
Yep.
Kerry Lowry for hooking up all the vendors on the grounds.
How about we just big shout out to Kerry Lowry for being Kerry Lowry and being pretty much awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's our boots on the ground with Paul down there. Paul lives an hour and a half, 45 minutes away. And Carrie she's irreplaceable. She does it freaking all. So Brad caught it. Yeah. Jumpin' Jack Flash was voted in. They broke on the dyno. So they were supposed to be there. So and Ferentz felt terrible. Kevin, we didn't watch till Saturday Peckerhead. Yeah, I just want to know. We all want to know. Hey, Chuck Hobbs.
Do they spell Saturday different in Illinois?
So
do we need to?
Kevin starts drinking Busch lattes around 5:30, and he's a short feller. He doesn't have the alcohol consumption ability that some of us bigger guys have. So he's slurring his typing already, guys. So
He's what is it? He's typing in cursive.
He's
Yeah.
typing in cursive.
I know somebody that said if I start walking in cursive, take
Yes.
me to the hotel. I was
Yes.
I don't know. That's kind of interesting.
that's actually pretty funny, Cody. You normally don't say funny things. That's funny, Cody. So
Well, I know who said it. He was just copying them. So I mean,
okay.
Yeah.
Tim Schnittiker, I'm sure that's part of the Schnittiker clan, DNR. I live only 14. Yeah, it has to be. I live only 14 miles from the Holzhauer track. Had family stuff all weekend, but I heard so many good things about the whole weekend. Heard it was an amazing experience. I'm guessing you heard the mods from 14 miles away. Would be my guess.
Yes.
Ugh.
And
It's a
Tim would love to
funny
have you
story
next
about
year.
that for the big mods. So my daughter went with me to be a photographer, and she's been going to polls with me for a couple of years, but she'd never seen Grand National level mods up close. And so Friday night, Bunge was the first one. And after the run, I ran downstairs real quick and said, "What do you think of that?" She's like, "That was amazing, and these pictures are going to suck." She was not ready for it.
I just had to laugh because I was like, "What do you think?" And she's like, "That was loud." And she told me the same thing. The pictures were gonna suck.
If you're a YouTuber or a Facebooker, please send me the link to my personal Facebook page. I'll share your video while we're chatting on the screen. If you want me to share your video, put that up there for me. Send it to my personal Facebook page, Jason Schultz, and I'll share that for you guys.
While we're on the topic of mods, I suppose it'd probably get us kicked off air if we started talking about The Amy Jo Estes conversation.
Yeah, we can't go there.
No, it's too early for that.
But it's funny.
It's not.
But it's funny, and you can ask us at a poll,
Yes.
and we'll all tell the same story, and you will laugh.
Dustin Blair, I enjoyed the show and had a blast. Chuck Hobbs waiting on engine, so he's not going mini rod pulling this weekend. Ference Vig Jr. says, not saying this to pump anybody's ego, but Charles and company did an awesome job announcing, and when John and Christy line up the show, it's spot on.
Thank you, Ference. I appreciate you.
When you said Titanic, I about cried, Charles. It was so good. Your voice, I don't know. I don't remember the exact
I think
context.
John Murray was keeping a running log of how many multiple syllable words I used.
Yeah. Brent Shoreflighty, Keith Witt made some amazing fried fish. So sounds like we got to have, no matter what, we got to have Tolkies and Wits back next year, no matter what, for food reason.
Yeah.
Steve Gross is checking in from Warsaw, Kentucky.
Steve,
he's
it was good to see you. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, Steve's
Yeah,
the
he's
head
part of
wrench
Team
for the
Sullivan.
Sullivan. Yep.
How's Donnie feeling?
Papa Wayne said, Schultz, them mini rods are dangerous. That was funny. Kevin's about to load the hooker. Shane Hunt, I called him Raccoon Eyes. How about the diesel showing up in a light super stock class? So,
Yeah.
Adam Wilson had a really good video of Light Trouble, Hale's tractor. I got a good video of it from the starting line. Go check. Yeah, that thing is sharp. I mean, it was this, I was told that was a sheet metal they had last year, but it got painted. Like, the paint was still fresh, is what I was told. Like, you didn't want to touch it.
Yeah.
It was impressive, and now it makes me salivate even more to wonder what Esden could have done with that class.
Mhm.
We'll see this summer. It'll be out there.
Shout out to Jaden Littman on her pass the on
Yeah.
Friday night. That was awesome.
She drove with authority.
She is not afraid of that thing at all.
No.
So she has the old nut job truck. I didn't know that. So,
Yep.
yep. I was like, we just sound like the Budweiser frogs.
Yep.
Budweiser. So,
Yeah, she strapped herself into that thing so tight that according to Cody, she could barely breathe when the vehicle came to rest. But she drove it. There was a little bit of a hole there at about 100 foot, and she drove through that like a boss.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So-
I forget if it was her uncle or somebody in the crew, but they asked Misty if they could go over to the other side, and she's like, "Yeah, that's fine." And he explained, what was going on, and he came back and said, "Thank you for letting me go over there," because he said when I got there, her harness was so tight that she couldn't breathe, and I thought that was pretty. I mean, a lot of guys tighten the harness, but she must have enjoyed that a lot to have the adrenaline pumping and not be able to breathe.
So, for those of you that I wonder why we say womp womp, just enjoy the next 49 seconds of your life. Oh, I should turn the sound on. That helps, right, Charles?
Yeah, that helps.
I got to do that one more time.
That is such an angry motor.
That makes me so happy.
That is an angry animal.
We talk about color a lot, and that's why, the light limited super stock class. Let's run down our pro stock class. Case, Kloss, New Holland, Egco, red, green. Is that 6 out of 10? Or we had 11. We ended up, one of the Hoyt's tractors pulled twice, or we had both Hoyt's tractors, and we had 11 pro stocks. But, yeah, that's pretty neat when you think about that. So, I love comments like this. Dustin Brewer, one of the many highlights for us was visiting the pullers in the pits. Man, we've been preaching that for years. You know, if you're a promoter, there's a few places I get it. You cannot let people in the pits. I truly understand that. But man, 95% of you can. Have them sign the waiver, head into the pits, and let these kids do this stuff. The Secondhand Smoke team was super friendly and chatted with us for quite a while. The excitement with that group to be at that pull was very evident. That's so cool. Yeah, super cool. Scrappy versus Bone Twister round 2, Rock Valley, July 7th and 8th. I wish.
Wait, what? Is that a
No,
thing, or is that
that's one
somebody
of our
typing?
it's somebody hyping. It's one of our guys. It's got the Beer Money logo, so I'm not sure who it is. So, probably
Doug
Borth.
Borth, don't get my hopes up.
It's probably Borth. What happened to the new Pro Stock to get DQ'd? Okay, so bunch of oil came out the bottom. John Mears was trying to flag down. Was Jerry at the 100-foot, Charles?
No, he was at the finish line.
Okay, who was at 100?
Well, they both put it up.
They went track to track. Anyway, a lot of controversy. I'll just be honest with you. You know, did was the red flag up for Brett to see it at the 100-foot mark? I don't know. I haven't watched the video enough. I've had some people say it was. I've had some people said it's not, but basically excessive fluid. But that was a second place pass that they made, and they absolutely melted that motor. There was not an ounce of oil left in that tractor. So
Yeah,
I think John saw it. We saw John go like this.
he was trying to save him from melting down.
And you know what? Any puller, I mean, I don't know. Flag guys are out there and gals, but I don't always see them either. I'm just completely honest with you guys. I'm focused on where I'm driving on the track. And Brett, that's the second time ever driving a Pro Stock, and I talked to him Saturday night after the pull. Like he said, he was so zoned on everything else. And,
Second time driving it, I'm sure. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think for a
Hometown
second
pole.
he did it on purpose. Not at all.
No,
I mean,
no.
just them starting that thing drew a crowd of 100 people. You know what I mean? It was awesome. It was awesome. So, but that's what happened there. Dylan.
You get fueled up by adrenaline and you go tunnel vision, and it's, you know, they say that you can't necessarily see it in their faces. My photos and Cody's photos beg to differ. You can see that tunnel vision, and they don't see one damn thing other than that leader cone.
Yeah.
And they have one mission, is to bend that throttle and go chase it. And, you know, and Brett,
Go ahead,
you know,
yeah.
no matter how many times you make a pass down that track, that's going to happen. You get that tunnel vision, and you miss things like that. And, you know, it's a thing. It sucks, but it does happen, you know, and it's not a reflection on anybody. It's a thing. It happens.
It doesn't matter if it's motorsports or anything, but you know,
No.
You know, I ran track type of thing. You get tunnel vision. You're thinking about what you're doing. You don't really think about, you know, what else is going on around you. So the short Friday's comment of that pipe's hard on the hood makes it hard to see around. Yeah, it does. It really does, because that's not a small pipe by any means to see around. And there's a lot of guys, you know, you get pictures and they're like doing one of these around the side of it, you know, and you're like, my neck would have hurt by the end of that pass. I'm just saying.
Surefire, you're right on with that light, and I'm pretty sure
100%.
you have one because we had it at Shipshawana. It was on the wall at the end of the track.
Yeah.
Yep.
Um,
Cody, when Cody ran track, when you could tell when he got tunnel vision, because his handlebar mustache straightened out.
Pretty much.
that's actually kind of funny. That means you were flying, Code.
Give us a close up. People haven't seen it. Come on,
I don't know.
stick your ugly mug right up there.
Hold on. Let me bring him up.
Jason's doing stuff. It's fun.
Oh, that's not. We don't want me. Ugh, that's scary. I'll get you up there, Cody.
I got called to Raleigh this weekend.
Yeah, a lot of.
Yes.
I got a lot of people ask.
Shore fighty, that was perfect. I loved it because he had no idea who it was.
Nope.
Get right up there, Cody. Show us the curls
Come on,
curls
let's
for the
see it.
girls.
He's
Keep
not
going.
quite old enough to remember Raleigh.
No,
No.
he's not. Raleigh had retired and was probably living in Boca by the time he was born.
Right.
Yep.
That was the baseball card you wanted to get every year.
Tillman
Yes.
Temple said they were heard about 8 to 10 miles south of town on Friday night. Shore Fighty says, yes, I had a neighbor that's 7 miles north of the track, and they heard the mods. Doug Meisinger, Thursday nights across the pits. It had a lot of holes. We thought couldn't find any holes Friday. Yeah, the place was full. It was very, very full. Shane says
Yeah.
no. I'm assuming he's referring to his raccoon.
No, he's talking to them. That's the Amy Jo story.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, I gotta catch up in comments.
We can still talk about the raccoon. I told him, I was like, dude, you saw some sun. He's like, it's not that bad. I was like, in like 2
Oh, yes,
seconds,
it is.
somebody walks in and was like, holy shit, look at that guy.
Does anybody have a picture? Does anybody have a picture of Shane Hunt we can put on the screen? I would love to show. Shane was out there getting video in the pits for us, and he got smoked a little bit, so it's all good. Chuck, text me your address right now. I'll get that in the mail tomorrow. Mr. Pulltown Nut, every Monday at 9 p.m. I'm so deep in Bush Latte, I'm not even capable of driving a wheelbarrow. Oh, that is too good. That's a T-shirt right there, Cody.
Yep.
Can't
Mr.
even
Pull
drive.
Down Nut, are you capable of driving a wheelbarrow under normal circumstances? We're just trying to establish a baseline.
Right. That's fair. I mean, that's not even like questionable. That's fair.
Yeah, my generator wasn't there this year. I got plans for that generator.
Speaking
Yeah,
of,
that's why people could sleep.
Ryan Christie really wants to know if you're making that T-shirt, Jason.
What that?
Ryan Christie really wants to know if you're making that T-shirt. What was it phrase?
The worst habit I'm glad I have, or something.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
He wants to know if you're making a T-shirt.
Okay, I will then. So read that to me. Can you all write it down?
The worst
We'll
habit.
have to go back. We'll go
It's
have
like-
to go back and look at the replay on that.
Yeah, but it's paraphrased like the worst habit I'm glad I have, in reference to pulling.
Yeah. Had awesome time. Ran very smooth. Look forward next year. Thank you, Todd. Carl Downs. The Carl Downs. Watch both sessions in Team's Franken shop. Well done, group. We got to get that little light super there, Charles.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Let's see here. Rusty Ray.
Bring some extra color to the class because it's a Moline.
Not sure if you'll be at the Grand National next month in Toma. You bet your ass I'll be in Toma. Thursday, Friday. Saturday, I'm heading to Manila, Iowa. Plan on being there with Full Pull Bets up there at the Great Toma. Hey, Sarah. Let the dog out. Thank you. Brent Shore Fighty. Charles, you should have had those GoPros in the cage Saturday night. It was the place to be. I'm telling you.
Yeah. I would have loved to, Brent, but my son has them all. I don't have any of mine.
Aaron Kern says, what blocks do Hoyts run? That is a Charles Post question.
As far as I know, they are a genuine case.
That's what I've been told as well.
Doug made an emoji. That means that's Borth. Yes, Doug is watching the show. McCurdy's are the secondhand smoke team and are great people. Their daughter, right? Charles drives that. Is it Megan?
Yes.
The 85?
Yeah, Megan. Yep.
Yeah, she found out what it was like when you really get hooked into the track on Friday night. Boy, ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And she did everything right in what could have turned into a very bad situation.
Yes, 100%.
Honestly, we need a light. Seriously, no offense to flag guys at all. Yeah, it's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea. I've seen some flags, guys, with lights on them. I know I've seen that on the
Northwest
Outlaws.
Yeah.
Northwest Missouri runs LEDs on their flags too.
Yep.
I think Brandon Simon has the best look back in the history of pulling to see where the leader cone is. When he in the pro stock on Friday night, that was money. I just love watching his head turn just to see how far he went by. That makes me chuckle. You can tell guys that do the work versus guys who had it done. Oh, Doug, it's okay, buddy. We love you. Thank you. Colin Burkholtz. I'm really looking for the flagman even when I'm shutting down on a normal pass. Yeah. It's tough. And it's no offense. You're into your machine.
Yep.
Yeah, the Europeans have the lighted flags a lot. I see that over there.
I know I've seen it with the Outlaws, and I feel like one other association uses them. So here it is. Cody Raleigh Vanderholm. There it is. Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
There it is. What about the commercial we did? Yeah, Ference did a Womp Womp juice commercial for me. We haven't aired it yet, but it's pretty freaking awesome. So it's pretty. We're working on T-shirts, private label, Womp Womp juice, and we got some good shit coming with that. That's going to be funny, the Womp Womp juice. So Ed Evercamp, DeBruy's pass on Saturday night was awesome. That is the happiest I've seen that
crap,
man in
was it
20
ever.
years.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh,
He
he
said-
also
I don't know
wins
about,
the
I don't
award.
know about that. The drivers' meeting was the happiest I've seen him in 20 years.
That's
So
true.
Polar's face when
That
we
was,
said semis
that
are
was
first.
so funny.
Yeah, when he said semis are first, they all went, what? And then they were like just running back to the pits and start getting ready. So
He also wins the
I
award
thought-
for highest fireball out of the pipe for the weekend.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cody, did you happen to get that on Friday night?
No, but
I didn't.
Allie did.
She did, but
Sweet.
unfortunately, there was track equipment crossing in front of her at the exact same time, so it's blurry because the autofocus shifted on her.
But it's
So
still
it
like
looks like a skid steer is on fire.
Yeah, kind of. I'll see if I can find it here.
It's like a silhouette type of thing. Like it's like mysterious because you know that like there's fire and you're like, I want to know more. So it's like a teaser photo of like what just poked that out. You know what I mean? Like that was cool.
That's a
I'll
cool
put it in-
picture.
I'll put it in the
right there.
chat if I find it. I'm looking right now. Yeah, okay, I found it. It's not great, unfortunately, but it definitely tells the story of how high it got.
Yeah. Yeah, it was stupid high.
Yeah, it was really cool to see them get a win with their first trip down the track with a new sponsor on board.
Yeah,
That had to make Bennett Transportation feel so good.
that picture, guys, is from Sean and Jessica Boardman. This made my son's day. The picture with Gene
I'll
down
bet
there.
it
That's
did.
Gene comes by himself, you guys,
yeah,
with 2 semi trucks.
Yeah.
and he broke one of them, had to load it, the hard way.
You guys wouldn't let me go to a pull by myself with a pedal tractor. None of you, even Doug.
No.
No, we wouldn't.
Oh, it's too big. You know what?
And I
I'll
was-
just share my screen. I'll do it that way.
Please do.
It should also be noted for the good of the order, I have fire in the pipe right now.
Yeah, but it's not near as high as Ryan had, so I'm kind of disappointed.
You shut up. I'll put more wood in that bitch.
Anybody want
Yeah,
to
I
put
may
the
not
hot
get that. That would be high enough to light the roof on fire. Let's not do that. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Right?
And the worst thing is Ryan told me to expect it.
Oh, it does it. Yeah, it does it
Where
regularly.
was the like the heads up on this so like I can move out of the track crew way?
I'm sorry.
You're fired.
I'd given Allie a heads up about Denny Brown's because it does it at the big end all the time too. She's like, so she was
Yep.
ready for it, but she's like, yeah, I missed. It did it, but I missed it.
Here's some pictures from old Cody Raleigh Fingers, Vanderholm, from just talking about Polar's eyes. There's Mr. Spiegelberg. That's a cool shot.
I walked back in for a little bit and just snapped a couple because that's something I don't do very often. You know, it's
Yeah,
one of those deals where you are going back there and you realize that you're kind of feel like you're expected to get every vehicle that goes down the track, and it's hard to walk away from the side of the track. And that's something I force myself to do to try and go back and get a couple, staging shots like that.
Some of the best stuff is the candid stuff, though, guys. You know that. I mean,
Yep.
but it's hard to break away from what you know.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things to do before a poll starts is in that, the 15 minutes before go time, I have to be in my role and doing what I do. But for like the 30 minutes prior to that, if at all possible, I love just hanging out at the scale.
Yeah. I'd love the opportunity to back in the pits type of thing. Go back in the pits and get the time to go do that. And
You know what? Gene Dunn might actually have gotten higher than Ryan with that one.
That's from Dylan
That
Oliver.
was big.
Yeah.
That was big.
How many years ago was it that guys actually plumbed that in with spark plugs and did some of that stuff? How many years ago? Would it be?
JR,
J.R. Collins had his that way. Yeah.
I don't believe that I believe that is still there. The plumbing is still there. I mean, Miles or Mitch. I think it's Miles. Confirm that with us, but since he owns it now, but I believe that plumbing is still there.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Charles, or Ryan, Cody, you guys are along the track. Charles probably couldn't hear up in the. What was the biggest like what was the most popular vehicle that went down the track? Do you guys think like any gas from the crowd or like saw the most phones? Like I feel like I saw the most phones out during the semi class. People recording. What do you guys? Just what's your gut from being up close, or maybe you don't see that stuff because you're shooting through your cameras and Charles is announcing and can't hear.
Yeah, it was too tough. I wouldn't know. It was too hard to hear. I kept trying to listen for like a roar from the crowd for something, but unfortunately with the air conditioner in there and everything else, it's just there's too much background noise.
There's a lot of fun between the semis and the pro stocks. I mean, the biggest roar from the crowd is probably, when Brandon Simon takes the mod and puts 20 feet on the leader type of thing, and then next person, the Rhett Parrish goes past. Like some of that stuff is some of those like big woos type of thing you're talking about. That's when I would say the big excitement is.
Pumpkin donated they got that fixed. They pulled Saturday night and won it.
Yeah.
So
he actually
JC's
came up to me before he made his pass. Shane actually came up to me and apologized. He's like, "Dude, I didn't come here to lay a giant goose egg for you guys. I'm really sorry." I'm like, "Dude, it's part of it. It happens.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just glad you're back on the track tonight." He said, "Well, we'll try and redeem ourselves," and then he went and won it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a puller, Saturday night that says, we found some more horsepower and we did some things and we broke, and unfortunately they were looking for the telehandler shoving back in the trailer because it's part of pulling. You chase more horsepower and you find some, and then next you find a weak spot, and that's just part of it.
Yep. And they were very, very appreciative to a bunch of people, plus the facility we had there with basically having a race shop on site so that they could fix it.
Yeah.
Bellafances are the nicest people, and I know we say that a lot, but man, I've never really got a chance to talk to them until this year, and both their tractors. But they're super sweet people, guys. I feel so bad for them to have both their supers go bang. So
Adam Drought said he's going to go make him 2 new oil pans so he has a spare.
Yep.
Well,
so we can blame Mad pulling picks for the oil pan. Is that what you're saying? So,
no, he blamed us
for
wrecking
that,
at John's.
He blamed us for wrecking it.
Yeah, he's like, "Yeah, thanks, guys. I really needed that."
look at Cameron Neves. I mean, the guys changed the turbo on the side of the road type of thing because they blew a turbo on the side of the road, and they got here, and they had lots of fun. But that's part of it.
This is a pro stock class Friday night.
I spent a good bit of time talking to Cam on Saturday night. He's, I don't get to see him that often because obviously opposite parts of the country. But yeah, another guy, super nice guy, cool guy. I appreciated that.
Yeah,
he's pretty legit. He's quiet until he gets to know you, and then you get the real Cameron.
Yeah. They couldn't get the semi started, and it shut down, and they couldn't get started. Spent what was it, Charles, $400 on new batteries? And he's like, it's still sitting over there running because we don't want to shut it off.
Right. Yeah.
Colton Taylor.
It was an expensive. Trip for them this year.
Oh yeah, Jason. Colton Saylor had the same problem with the pulling truck. He was worried for Saturday night if he was even going to be able to get it started, and if he did, he was like, I can't turn it off because it won't start again.
Yeah.
I felt horrible for that guy because apparently somehow or another a couple of those condensation valves got opened in his pipes and made it a little tough for him to make a pass on Saturday night. He made a good one on Friday night.
Yeah,
that was a good lick.
Yeah, the Kloss had some issues there, and then they came back. Then he drove out of bounds. Luke did, unfortunately. So, Mike Beck, he was supposed to be
Whoa.
there, but he called me on Wednesday. Was able to watch the live stream. Wish I could have been there. Okay, hats off to the lady that was unhooking the tractors from the sled, pulling 2 hooks out of every tractor. That is the famous unhooker, not a hooker, an unhooker, Laura Guthrie, out of every tractor laying on the backstop, digging out the chain. She's badass. Give her a raise. Next question, not related, but Chandler had a birthday. Is he the bowling king, 2-handed bowler? Yes, he is. Yes, Chandler is. We need to set up a tournament with him and ProFab. Awesome poll. You guys keep on keeping. I'll be there next year if the weather allows. So, Mike, you just send that super stock and I'll drive it for you. Because when Ryan asks this question, I'm going to say, I want to drive high-tech redneck, and if I don't have to worry about fixing it. So,
Mike, get your
shoot.
super stock done and drive it out here yourself, please.
If I can afford it, guys, it'll be ready. Just the whole month. I'm still looking for that money tree. So, but I'll do the best I can. Tom's Northway, he came for both nights. Great show. Thank you, Tom. Yeah, and I feel terrible for horses and Rogiers, the horseshoes and hand grenades. If they don't ever want to come back again to Nashville, I don't blame them. So, because they broke it bad last year and they broke it bad again this year. So, ugh. Bad. They have no luck at the track and hold hours. This is correct. So good. That was the first time I've seen Phil Parrish drive El Nino, guys, Friday night. I don't know, because I've always just seen Rhett drive it. It's the new tractor since it's been out. How about you guys? Have you seen Philip drive it at all, Dad?
Yes, last fall.
We saw him last fall at Jeremy Wagler's.
Yeah.
So, but that tractor is a different beast. That is a different animal than from what we saw a year ago, or even 4 or 5 months ago.
Oh yeah, it just sounded different, and the performance is there. I mean, they stepped it up again.
I want to say
whatever changes they made in the off season, I think they're working.
Yep.
I mean, we'll find out. We'll find out here soon enough.
I would like to say Rhett said something about that's only the second time he's driven a certain amount of time period. Yeah. So, kudos to him, because that was a hell of a pass.
Pro stocks are awesome. Breaking news. No joke, or what's it? No joke. They're picking up their new mini rod in Illinois right now. Just got the text. So, just got the text. So Evans are doing that.
You're starting to sound like Dave Bennett.
What? Tell me how.
If it works out at my hometown fair this fall, I might get a chance to drive a mini. We'll see.
Dave. From time to time, Dave talks about getting texts when he's on the mic at Louisville, and just reminded me.
Oh yeah, you're right.
For some reason, I'm getting a text.
Yep.
Did you mark the G on your Dave Bennett bingo sheet?
Maybe. All I need all I need is for someone to say gun and rod, and I got a bingo.
I thought they got the mini out of North Carolina. What does Kevin's text message say? No joke was in Illinois picking up their new ride. That's all I got, guys. So maybe Kevin went and picked it up in North Carolina and brought it back to Illinois. It's hard to say. Kevin's good like that. He does nice things for people. So that new announcer stand is pretty sweet, guys.
Yep. The luxury box up there.
What's that, bud?
Having the luxury box on the rest of it. That's
yeah.
Nice.
16-year-old driving a pro stock for the first time, watching Dad Denny back him in. I talked to Denny Saturday night. He just wasn't happy how the tractor hooked up. He said it's a brand new set of tires. He goes, I don't know if I like them. He said we just never could get the momentum. So hard to say.
What, he drove it like he'd been doing it his whole life.
Yeah, and that's what And that's what Denny said. He goes, Elijah didn't do nothing wrong. We just can't get these tires to hook. So I remember he told me the story, but I heard so many. No, go ahead.
JC Thomas has a picture from the Friday night pass of Eli's eyes. Holy crap. That kid was intense. He had all the confidence in the world. He knew where he was going. He knew what he needed to do.
Here's Brandon's winning
So,
pass
kind
on
of a
Friday
chip-
night.
He's a chip off the old block.
Yep.
I like Brown's hauler. When you pull the Pro Stock in, right on the front wall of the hauler, once you drive in, is a 60-inch TV.
Yeah.
There's your winner Friday night. Man, that was a pass. Whew. It was fun from Charles' perspective. When you see the sled go past the window, that's kind of how you can kind of judge where the distances were. Or him and Leroy up there in the announcer stand. Here's Brett Hackstad's first ever pass on the new Pro Stock. Guys, and with the hood up on this thing, this mirrors El Nino. It's polished to the tilt underneath the hood. Yep.
And the guy drove it from the shop in the background to there. Like that's all he
Yeah,
drove.
didn't have to put in the trailer.
Yeah.
Didn't have to put it in the trailer. So after this pass, I'm going to bring up the results. We're going to go through this, and we're going to go to bed. So good stuff there. So that's a Pro Stock Class Friday night. Again, just guys, go to you if you want to watch more stuff. Go to YouTube. You can go back and buy the live stream to their website. Go to pullerschampionship.com. Click on live stream. So Gallus Todd wants to know: do you think Farm Truck would ever build a pulling truck now? I don't know. That's a good question.
He
Charles,
told
do you
me
know
that.
any
He told me that this year he will put the prison bus on the sled. He was going to do it last year, but he kind of wussed out at the very last minute. He said, I'm not going to do it. He said, I was kind of mad that I was annoyed with myself that I didn't do it last year. He said, I will do it next year. I promise you. I told him I was going to hold him to it.
At Wagler's?
Yeah. All we got to do is get 15 of the biggest boys in the house and just shove them in the back. We can wheelie that thing down the track.
There you go.
I
Okay.
better get a ride on that.
PullersChampionship.com. Results, 2023 results, Friday, Saturday, overall results. Okay, again, it was a point system, guys. And then if it was tie in points, then we went to total distance. So again, shout out to Prescription Tillage Technology, our title sponsor, Lutz Agency, they donated a bunch of money, as well as a $500 bonuses for Friday night, and then Chaos Fab sponsored the Pro Stock class, and we got to see Lindsay drive the short fuse mini rod, and she drove the wheels off that thing. It was awesome. So Jeremy Witt, our 2022 champion. Charles, you can jump in and help me with this. Jeremy Witt got third both nights, total of 6 points, and we had a tiebreaker. Math, Leroy and Charles both had to do the math upstairs on this one. So three people had 6 points, and it came down to the total distance then. You can see Jeremy Witt was third both nights. Kuzuzik was fourth on Friday, second on Saturday. David Doherty was fifth on Friday, first on Saturday, and it came down to total distance. So 3 feet separated that. So that's good stuff right there. But last year's champion defends his title and walks away with the $5,000 check. 95 Limited Pros. Nick Gallitz was last year's champion, running in the red. He's your defending Badger State champion. Brett Shorefighty, the hometown boy, sweeps the weekend.
And he had to earn it. He roached a turbocharger Friday night and had to put a different one on.
The people camping next to me had part of Brent's turbocharger in my pocket. They showed it to me Saturday morning. They said they let it cool down before they picked it up, though. So, they said it came into the stands there a little bit. But yeah, Shorefighty swept it. Engel King had third both nights. He tied with Gallitz second and third, but then Engel King inched him out for second place by 3 inches. Sydney Summers did an awesome job. Second place on Friday night, and then fifth place on Saturday night, right there with all of them. Hartman, your Silver Series champ, finishes in fifth. And then you can go on down through the list there. So
not bad for 5 cylinders, huh?
Yeah. Super Farms, Jeremy Roberts, first on Friday, second on Saturday, 663 feet. Josh Miley, your defending, Champions Tour Super Farm champ, second on Friday, fourth on Saturday. Russ Freeze, Don Slama, Dave Whelan, Shane Maston. Look how well Shane Maston did with the 10th on Friday night, coming back.
Yeah.
Good to see that from a point system. So
I felt bad for Gary. He just had problems. That thing just didn't want to behave.
Yeah, he
Nope.
got second. He won Grand National Point. Got second at the farm show. Went down to Florida and just kicked everybody's butt down there. I'm not sure what happened there. That stinks. So, it was the turbo. I think the turbo was just lagging, wasn't it, Charles?
You know what? I don't know. After he made his test pass, I was still down on the ground, and I went over there while they were opening the side shields, and he was poking at everything, but hadn't figured it out yet as to what it was.
Because it sounded like Proud Gear, the way it ran, but it
Yeah.
never really whistled on top. So
No.
Pro Stocks, again, shout out to the Parrish family. Second on Friday, first on Saturday. Brandon Simon first on Friday night with a big pass, and then third on Saturday. So, Rhett and Phillip got 3 points, and then Brandon got 4 points. Hoyt's got third with a nutcase. As in Lemke, last year's champ, goes fourth. Elsine fifth. Elijah 6. Hoyt 7. Hextad not 8. Then Schrammich, Wildman, and then Coolers and Robbie Lemke. So Wildman popped the charger, heard something in the charger Friday night, and then the Kloss burnt a piston. That's why they did not come back.
I never did hear why Schrammich had to bow out.
I was told that their engine builder said don't pull it unless you want to wait for parts.
Gotcha.
Yes, great weekend for the El Nino team and Chaos Fab. Thank you, Daniel Heltebrand. Diesel Supers. Travis Schlaba, your Grand National champion, sweeps it. 631. Ken Payne, Super Rooster, was only 6 feet back. He was right there. Dagenhart's 423. They didn't have a good pass Saturday night. I'm not sure what happened. Belafantis didn't come back, or Doug Meisinger as well. Doug was hooked up about 100 foot or 125 feet when it kind of white smoked, and he coasted to about 203 there. You can see his distance. So
He had
He said he told Travis for the first 10 feet, I had you.
yeah, that's something Doug would say. No, Cody McKinley from Corsa was in the trailer, and they showed me the computer reading the middle turbo. Or I don't.
He said 1.5. He said he took out 1.5.
Bobby Jones, both nights, light supers.
Yeah.
Honestly, just kind of an ass kicking. I mean, just to be real honest,
It really
he just was freaking dominant. Look at his distance, 658 feet. Henley was second with 6. I thought that was Haley, not Henley. Is it Henley or Haley?
No, it's Henley.
Haley.
Okay, my bad.
Oh, is it?
I'm thinking Haney. My bad. For the Cujo, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, but look at that. It's a diesel number 2.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's fun. Way to go, Bobby Jones, field sobriety. That's a Blackburn built tractor, right, Charles?
I believe so, yes.
Yes.
Good to see that. Nobody made that happier than Adam Wilson, that Ryan Henley. He loves them diesel light supers. We all do. They sound good. Larry Phillips, Brandon Phillips, Brian Schrammich. They had an awesome pass Saturday night. Schrammich's did finally on the light super. That's the best I've seen it run.
Yeah.
Last year's champ finished in 6th. Spiegelberg's got the nose in the air Saturday night. I remember that. Bernie laid one out there. Haney's, and then Bulls. They're still working on that fuel pump issue there from Louisville. They'll get that figured out. It's already back at Pickler's, Brent Yarn said. 4-wheel drive trucks. Jim Bosch, Midnight Raider, sweeps it.
Yeah, baby.
684. Charlie Hines, running Wild Texas Style 2. Jake Zarin, your NTPA champ, was 3rd. Terry Hagendorf was 4th. Claypool, your Outlaw champ, was 5th. The Punisher, Foster Child, Thumper, Renegade, just in time.
G&K guys they struggled too. Yeah, it was a tough weekend for Young and Grace.
Yeah. So are they teammates?
Yes.
I thought. They had both those trucks down in Glencoe, Kentucky when we were down there filming. They made a couple test passes. So Superstock diesel trucks. Dan Scheid was there in the winner's circle Saturday night. That was pretty cool with Kent. I didn't know that was his son-in-law because I said, "Hey, how do you know that?" And he goes, "Well, he's my son-in-law." I'm like, "Oh, Crowder, you lucky turd." And then Debbie just giggled. So it was funny. But Kent Crowder, 3rd on Friday, 1st on Saturday, 4 points overall, 629 feet. The Rumor, first time I'd seen that truck run, had an awesome weekend. 2nd Friday, 4th Saturday. Brady Ingram, Jaden Littman, something to prove. Rock Hard Ram, last year's champ, finishes 5th. Evil Diesel, Mr. Witt, brand new truck. Craig Dickey, the Cummins Killer. Man, I love Cummins Killer. Terry Biggs and Chase Eller, the caretaker. And then the minis, Mr. Hurt, B-Bear. Second place, both nights. But most Mr. Consistency, Abby got 2/3. And Logan Peisig, they had an awesome pass Saturday night. Won the class by like 12 feet. So Logan drove Saturday night, and then Tim drove Friday night, if I remember. I might have it. No, yeah. Logan drove Saturday, Tim drove Friday. Lindsay Campbell, brand new mini. I mean, I think that was her first competition, right, guys?
Probably. I think the runs that she's made
Yes.
at Chaos's test track.
Yeah. So you can see the point system there. Mods, Tommy Owens, your second place tractor in the Grand National Championship goes 1. Brandon Simon goes number 2. Dylan Owens with Thorn. Man, Thorn laid down a pass Friday night, you guys.
Yes,
Got a brand new tractor.
Yep.
Essentially, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Same with Bunnage, brand new tractor. Finishes in 4th. Wayne Sullivan. Great to see the Kentucky in there. Jamie Austin, Cameron Neves. Cameron Neves got some lifters, right, Charles? Didn't he?
Yeah, he pulled a spark plug out of his pocket and showed me that it had stuff contacted.
Yes.
Stuff that should not contacted.
So, Doug Borth says Killer was only running on 2 turbos and didn't know it. That sucks. Cummins Killer. So he knows those guys pretty well. And
Friday night they had a loose exhaust flange.
Super semis, Ryan DeBrew. Second Friday, first on Saturday. 702 total. So him and Gene tied, and then Leroy had to do the math. Charles and I were having fun watching Leroy add all that up. So we'll get him a calculator next year. Just what an event. Carl Ruddick says Dylan Owens and Thorne will be fun to watch this year. Oh, yeah, yes, they will.
They will be.
So will you, Carl, if you start wearing your cool shoes again.
How did the Pick'em contest finish? You know what? Brent Yarn was going to come on tonight. I think he got called into work, so he's in charge of that. All the technical stuff on that, but we'll find out there. So what, Robert? You won another $500? You already won $5,500 this weekend, Jeremy. Come on, buddy. Now and thank you. He was one of the biggest pushers as pullers for the super farms, so to get in there, and he represented well. So good to see that.
And it was good to see him and the family out.
Yep.
Yep.
This coming weekend, I'm going to head down to Byron, Illinois. Friday night, they got some truck drags. And then Saturday night, I'm going to do some filming for ISP. Mark Kelsey's a promoter there. He also owns a Satsuma truck track in Florida that I went down to this year. So I'm going to help him out. I know Doug and Hope are heading up on. What's that?
Mark Kelsey pulls a 1256 or 1456 too, doesn't he? Like super tractor?
Yep, I think it's a 12. Yep. I think it's a 12. And then Doug and Hope are going to Onaway to hang out for the weekend. Hope loves those diesel truck drags or the truck racing up the hill and all the trucks.
I think as of right now, we have 96 trucks registered to race, and it will be on Flow Racing.
Yeah, Flow Racing, guys. Check that out. Chandler from our team's going up to – he's doing the Wisconsin thing, the Kevin Rudd Memorial for the mini rods, and Taylor, Wisconsin, covering all that. Mackenzie's going to get a dog with her sister Saturday in Indiana. So that's good. That's good stuff. Charles, you're on the mic?
I will be on the mic with Yves Bertrand doing the French version of whatever I say at Great Lakes Big Rig Challenge.
What else? I think good. Cody, what do you got going up next? Where are you heading? Shoulder surgery or hospital?
That's next Wednesday. So we'll see after that. So the short party's coming. I just dropped that picture in the chat for you.
Oh, okay.
Yep. There's an underhood shot of the tractor in there as well.
Yeah. Yes, that we did.
Crap. My inbox is full.
I asked Paul how Froggy was feeling. It was maybe about 1:00 in the morning or so. And because I'm feeling pretty good. So I said, I have an idea. And into Jumping Jack Flash, this was supposed to be done with their truck. And since they broke on the dyno and did not bring it, I mean, we could have just rolled it out there. I mean, it'd been okay. No engine in it. It'd been fine. But Yeah, so we did this with a new Pro Stock. So, and how new it is there was no stickers on it when we did this. So Charles has the under the hood picture, and for anybody that doesn't know, this is what we call long exposure. So I took a drone and used the drone to use the lights from the drone to light paint and basically light up the tractor when everything else is dark. So,
Hey, did you get the drone up at all though, to see the full house Saturday night?
No, I didn't.
What? You're fired. So, okay. Which one do you want to put up? Do you want to put your long exposure shot up, Cody?
Do Charles's first.
Okay. Let's see here. So this is under the hood of the new Holzhauer Pro Stock.
It's clean.
Yeah.
And it is plumbed and wired and censored. I mean, if it can be looked at, they're tracking it.
Yeah.
Here is a shot of Travis's eyes. And here's the cool photo. So talk about that, Cody.
So if you ask Paul will say, "I don't need." He's like, "That's where tonight." He's like, "That's fucking cool." We're talking about it.
No,
He's like, "I don't know."
Don Slama proof show.
It is now, and he's like, "I don't know. You want to talk about engines and motors and shit like that? I can do that, but that's fucking cool." He's like, "I don't know anything." So that's what it's a long exposure. So we're leaving the shutter open on the camera, and we're using the lights from the drone to light up the tractor in darkness. And so it is, I mean, it's not just like blacked out frames. It is black out there, and you're using the lights from the drone. That's what you see is the light trails from the drone itself. So it was a team effort. Took several of us to get it out there, and took Misty was my assistant to actually get the, I told her, like last year, Charles, when you were my assistant for
Lance's
High Hopes.
Yep.
Misty was my assistant. I told her when to click the button and when to unclick the button, and I took a drone and flew it around there. So that's what lit it up. And it, like I said, it's so new that there's no stickers on this picture because it got stickered the next day.
Yeah, that was Thursday night. You did that, right? Wednesday night?
Wednesday night. Yep.
Thursday morning?
Yep. Thursday morning. So, yeah, it's fun just because, I mean, it's unique and it's something different that, it's something that I enjoy doing that nobody else is doing, I guess.
Not yet.
Yeah, not yet.
Yeah.
I know there's people who want to learn how to do it, but
Right.
You have to go to Cody Raleigh Fingers Vanderholm Media School of Cool.
Yeah, now that I've seen
And
it
it
done
won't be-
and that I can
my
trigger
guess
my
is
new
that it
camera
won't
with
be
my
cheap.
cell phone.
The biggest challenge, like Misty's like, are you ready yet? I was like, no. Or she's like, are you ready yet? No. Because the biggest thing that you don't think about is you have to get that in focus, and when it's dark, it's all manual. I mean, there's no autofocus known to man that can shoot at dark and figure out, how to get it crispy. So
Yep.
It is manual. You shoot a long exposure, wait, look at it. You shoot a long exposure, wait, look at it. And it takes, to get this one shot, there's probably 35 long exposures that were over 20 seconds long to get to this shot.
Yeah. When we did Lance's there last year, we were out there for an hour, I think.
Yeah. So, and that's just part of it. It's not something that it's a quick process by any means. And it is all manually done and tweak until you're finally happy with something. And, everybody else is kind of like, are we done yet? And it's like, no, I'm not happy. So.
And Cody is for hire. He will do this for you folks. So if you're out on the Western Series or the Outlaws or somewhere on the Champions Tour, the NTPA, where he goes, you should probably send him a message.
He's for sale, but he's not on sale, as RJ Simon says.
Yep.
Yes.
I did get asked to go to Canada. I'm not opposed to that.
as long as someone's paying the bill.
Right.
Well, duh. And they provide girls. So
Well, that too.
Cody can be bought with women. Okay, just gonna throw that out there for you. So
Cody can also be bought with nice bourbon too, by the way.
That is also true.
and there she is.
Cody,
Even
you should
Robbie
talk.
Martin
You
took it over.
you should talk about your bourbon experiences this weekend because you had a good weekend.
I did.
And there are some people out there who drink bourbon. If Brent's watching, I guarantee you that he will give you some love for what you brought home.
Yeah, it was a good weekend. There's a Weller Special Reserve, there's a Willet, and 3 E.H. Taylors that came home with me from this weekend. And I've been chasing an E.H. Taylor for a while because I was one of those lottery states where it may or may not happen, and it may happen like across the state that you don't know about as far as what gets to Iowa. So yeah, it was a good weekend.
So shout out to that liquor store, which did actually sponsor both years of the Pullers Championship. It was a small sponsorship, but it was a sponsorship. And that liquor store in the south side of Nashville, boy, I'll tell you what, they've got a hell of a bourbon selection.
Yep. Yeah, and last year was the first year that had Bardstown.
Yeah.
We all got some because it was there. It's like, okay, let's see what's up.
Yep. So yeah, no, it's a great little place down there, and it's called Allmark Store on the south side of Nashville, Illinois, and it is well worth the stop. They did not have the Busch Light cans with the corn cans last year, but nobody did in Illinois. That was only an Iowa thing. But they had everything else that we wanted to drink. So.
Good deal.
Yes, they do have pretty girls in the booth, Doug.
But you don't pull a white, so you can't get there.
No, but I can get all the pictures.
Right.
Carrie Louder says, I'll make sure you have your favorite next time. Not a girl, Carrie.
Carrie, you're biting off more than you're going to want to chew on.
Yep.
He has expensive taste.
Awesome. Carrie, thanks for everything you do for our event
thank you.
and everything down there. So everybody head out to Holes Hours again, June 2nd, June 3rd for the Southern Illinois Showdown. I'm going to be in Monette, Missouri with the Outlaws for Outlaw TV that weekend. The first weekend, the Outlaw season gets started then. So it's going to be a busy summer, guys. So thank you to Paul Romack, Brent Yarin for all their hard work for the Pullers Championship. Carrie, of course, as well. Mr. Holzauer. I talked about everything at the beginning of the opening. Charles Leroy on the mics. So thanks for watching tonight. Have a great night. See you soon.
See you guys.
See you guys.
Later.
Peace.